Okay, so a bit of an update. First off, here's what's going on in the back 50. Winter's coming. It's 5 degrees out today. Uh, and I got a bit of a show and tell for you because I've had visitors bringing me gifts. Like I've said on Facebook, I have a budget of $1,000. Well, it was $1,400 till I bought insulation and vapor barrier, had it delivered. Now I'm down to $1,000. Anyways, so I've been getting gifts from friends to help me out along my journey here as I wait for a hearing for disability. Anyways, because of my mental health, basically. Uh, anyways, that's coming in November. It's almost here, and I'm getting very anxious about that whole scenario because I feel like a passenger in the whole process. Um, but anyways, so this is a bit of a show and tell. So first we'll go inside. So the cabin, as you can see, is holding heat pretty good. It's 25 degrees, 26 degrees in here. Um, yeah, so it's holding heat really well nowadays. Now that I've insulated the floor, vapor barriered it. Um, the sliding door that separates from the addition that is not insulated or anything, vapor barriered or Tyvek. Um, so this door keeps the cold out for me. That keeps the wind out off this wall. And I've got a giant walk-in freezer in another month. Ugh. I have a full kitchen in there. I'll show you that later on. And hydro, so I'm good that way wise. So anyways, I've taken some, by the way, around my door. I've sealed all the gaps with tape. I've taken some advice from the internet. The cold will find a way, so, um, you know, so I'm kind of made that happen. And hopefully that works. So gifts, yeah, I've had a lot of gifts from friends. So one of the big ones was friends Dan and Lori came by yesterday, and they brought me a whole whack of canned goods. I had a little bit, but 2/3 of that pile is part of what they brought, and they brought me some junk food goodies like cheesies and chocolate and stuff, which I don't get very often. And they also brought me a Tim Hortons coffee, which was friggin' awesome, because I haven't had one in a while. So you notice there's polysporin, there was bandages, and stuff in the care package, which is awesome because I didn't have too much of that. So I had another friend of mine. It's a bit messy in here because it's only a 12 by 12 cabin. This part, a friend of mine came all the way from another town, drove out of his way, a couple hours away, brought me a fire extinguisher because I did not have one. So now I'm kind of good. But he also brought me the spray bottle so that if I get any kind of sparks that fly out of my stove when I'm putting more wood in or stoking the fire, I can quickly get that and not have to use this because this I need to use when the shit hits the fan, right, and things are out of control, and I don't waste it. Um, so that's awesome. The fan in the corner, it was suggested I maybe move that, but it's doing a great job, so we can stay there. It's close to the outlet. It's plastic, it's so it won't melt in that corner. It won't be too close to the stove. The stove, my friend Dan has checked it out and says it's in pretty good shape. Just this part here, it's homemade. It needs to. It's also hot, but it's homemade, and I need to get some pipe dope, some pipe cement, and put it around to seal it up because I get leakage coming out once in a while. If you put it in the right place, it's not too much, but I don't want to die in here in my sleep, so I want to change that out or get a new one, or at least do the seams here with some pipe cement. And I looked it up. You can get it. It's fairly inexpensive, so that's going to happen. I'm probably going to order some insulation with what's left of my budget. I have vapor barrier for this. There is a few pieces of concrete board that we're hiding to put behind the stove. That's going to go into. Um, so other gifts. I think it's all outside now. Um, but since I'm talking gifts, a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago bought me this nice, which I'm wearing the liner now, but the nice 7-in-1 jacket. I guess it's Dakota works gear. Um, it's really good. It's really warm. I can drive on the quad when it's 0. I can be doing 30 kilometers an hour on the quad, and the only thing cold is my face, so it's doing its job. And he also bought me the matching snow pants, so I'm totally covered for winter that way wise. I've got big heavy boots that finally made it up here. So we'll go back outside. I'm sorry I'm shooting this on a cell phone, but my other camera does not have image stabilization. So this is why I'm doing this way. Okay, so other gifts that were brought actually before I put the camera stable here. We'll take a walk over here. My friend that came down yesterday also brought me some pallets. 3 big pallets that had drums on them, so they're pretty heavy duty. So they're hardwood. The idea is I'm going to pile my next bunch of wood that I split and bring up, that's already half done, is going to go on those guys to keep it off the ground. That's part of why I put my wood pile where I did over there, because the water doesn't stay there, it runs down the hill right away. And it's also 12 steps from my cabin, so when I got snow up to my waist, I don't have to go very far. I don't have to be hunting through piles of snow for wood, which is not desirable in -20. Okay, so the next big thing my friend brought me was, since it's hunting season, he brought me one of these since I had nothing. I was originally putting a red t-shirt around my head and letting it hang off the back and hoping for the best. So this is going to be a great ad, and I'm not so fearful about going in the bush and getting shot by a hunter who's mistaken me for something. As a musician, I played throughout Northern Ontario, and I've heard the hunting stories, and I know not all hunters are trigger happy, but I do know that a lot of them are half drunk. A lot of them are having cold coffees in the morning, so to speak, and such like that. I've heard this for 25 plus years of touring through Ontario, well, all of Canada, Western Canada, Eastern Canada. And yeah, I do know you guys are half drunk. You can tell me you're not. Either you're drunk from the morning or you're still drunk from the night before. So being visible is a good thing. You can argue those facts, but I've talked to hundreds of guys over the years, and I can tell you, when you're drinking, the lips get loose and the truth comes out. So I've heard these stories all the time. Another big thing I got yesterday, I had a headlamp, and I've got a work light, but it doesn't last that long, the work light. I think it's the battery's dying. This one is super bright. I have one, but it's an older version of LEDs, and it's bright, but not like this. This one, this is pretty modern, so it's pretty killer. So that'll be handy. Brought me some ribbon for marking my own trails when I just go venturing kind of thing, so I can find my way back. So that's bonus. I did get work gloves. These are nice ones. I've had these for 2 weeks because my friend brought them up a couple weeks ago with the jacket and stuff. They fit tight, they're leather, and I don't get wet hands, which is great, and I can swing an axe. I got this nice roll of flexible wire, which I'm going to use to build a shelter for my wood, because I'm running out of screws. So I built quite a few things, like the wood box in there and this box that I'll show you in a minute. So that being said, what else did I get? I got a Garmin, I think it's Garmin, isn't it? Yeah, Garmin GPS Map 76, and I got the matching cord so I can update maps and such. So I look forward to trying to figure this thing out in the next little while. It should be kind of interesting, but it'll be a big help because I can plot my trails that I'm finding animal tracks on and stuff, and be able to find them again without having to use a ribbon, and I can find my way home anytime and not walk into circles, which I haven't really done. I've got a pretty good sense of direction, but when you get out there, sometimes you start turning around and everything starts to look the same. Trees, rocks, more trees, more rocks. But anyways, okay, I'm running on here. Another thing that was brought was an ice scraper, which is going to be handy knocking the ice off the stairs. That's going to happen this winter. because I am in the snow belt, so snow is going to happen. Super bonus for me was the chainsaw oil, because I ran out and I'm not done cutting yet. And I don't have, well, I have the quad, but it's getting kind of cold to go out into Trout Creek the half hour in and a half hour back on the quad right now, although I'm sure I'll have to do it. So that's part of it. Hold on. Oh, that's sharp. Oh, good. So I got another axe brought because I'm using this, well, I'm using this 5-pound mash, which is great. It's not very sharp. It doesn't need to be, man. This thing is 5 pounds. Once you swing this thing, it just plows through whatever you got going on. But it's tiresome to swing for a couple hours, right? When I first got here, I was slowly starving to death in the city, and I could only swing this thing for about 10 swings, and I was completely done for the day. Now I can do it for, it doesn't bother me. I can do it for hours and stuff. But this guy's a lot lighter, and it's got this nice nice wedge on it to make the blocks fly apart easier. So I'm looking forward to trying this, and I'll probably try this morning. A real super bonus is a pair of snowshoes. I might need those just to get the 12 steps to my wood pile there. So these my friend got for Christmas a few years ago, and see, still got the tags. They were never used, so it's brand new poles, matching poles, the whole deal, right? So I'm pretty happy to try these, and they should make some interesting video of me trying to learn how to walk into these things, because I'm sure there's a trick. Now the cool thing about these is they're not just snowshoes, they have the ice grabbers here, so I should be pretty good for walking on ice and through the bush. And I've had people suggest you know, cross-country skis, but it's too it's good if I'm on the trails, but just to go through the bush like I try to do, looking for moose and stuff, this will be way better and serve me well. So I'm totally appreciative of all the stuff. Well, more than appreciative, really. Super grateful, because I really didn't know how I was going to make all this stuff happen. So the one thing I'm learning about the off-the-grid living and off-the-grid tools and all that stuff is it's super expensive, man. Like when I see these guys doing it online, on YouTube, etc., they're definitely not poor from what I'm seeing the prices of. The Facebook algorithm has definitely clued in on living off the grid, and I'm seeing a lot of advertisements for stuff, and yeah, man, their prices are pretty high on a lot of this stuff. So you're definitely not poor if you're doing this. Mostly I'm poor in doing this, so everything's the hard way, not the easy way. So anyways, there's the big update on stuff. Oh, the other thing I got right beside me, some extra water bottles, some jerry can water bottles. These ones I'm going to use for my gray water this winter. Once I melt snow and put it in here, I'll have bathing water, washing hands, and all that stuff. I've been researching and working on getting my own little water filtration system going on, and that's going to happen. I can probably do it for $50. Rather than buying a $300 unit, I can do a DIY version of it. So that's probably going to happen in the next couple of weeks too. Anyways, there's the update, folks. Have yourself a good day. I'm going to go cut some wood.